So we're finally here at the final reunion party. So who did we see? First of all, we saw Thomas and Adrian. What on earth did Thomas look like? What was that pink number he had? That pink mesh dress with... Did he have a thong on? And some sort of stockings underneath. I don't know what it was. But it looked a bloody mess anyway. And then he had the pink hair to go with it. Oh dear. I thought, what the hell? But anyway, both of them were coordinated in their pink. And then who else did we see come in next? We saw Gemma. Yep, Gemma was there. Then we saw, oh God, who came in after Gemma? April and George. Their reception was a bit shaky. But things started to warm up a little bit. Thomas wasn't as rude as he would normally be. So I found that strange. I thought, oh, have we got a different Thomas going on here today? Because he's being nice. But at the same time, he had that little smirky type look he gave April at the same time. I thought, he was a bit awkward. He wasn't too sure whether to hug her. He wasn't too sure whether to shake George's hand. Yeah, he just looked awkward. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, things soon calmed down with them lot. And then we saw, who came in next? It was Whitney. Whitney came in on her own. I thought, oh, so where's your partner? Where's Matt? So is this in lust already over and done with? I told you. I told you it was too quick. I told you it was too quick. It was lust. It wasn't quite love, it was lust. We did hear a little bit more about that because she did say to Thomas and Adrian that things got sticky because of the distancing. That was awkward. And again with something to do with sending texts. Texts can be misconstrued. Yeah, they can. They can be. I have to agree with that. And that long distance relationship, I did tell you. I did say it. I can't see how that's going to work with her travelling to him, because if she's never been in a long distance relationship before, and plus she's never been in a long-term relationship, I thought that was going to be an issue. And as we saw here, it was. However, when we saw her and April talking, it was more about the issues that he's got going on with his mum that's caused this sort of breakup between them. And yeah, with that going on at the moment, they've cooled things off, it looks like here. They're still good friends, but they just can't go any further at this time. He's just got too much going on to put all his attention into this relationship, into the two of them. It just wasn't going to work at this time. That's really how it seems to have come across. But I'm sure we're going to hear more about that later. We also saw the situation with her and Gemma. They were trying to be cordial with each other. So yeah, let's squash that. Moving on, who was next? Oh yes, my girl Keisha. Yes, Keisha came in next. She looked really nice. She looked really nice in that black velvet. Yeah, her hair looked, oh, yeah. She looked good. She's making a statement. So she got a warm welcome from everybody. And then I think it was, what's his name? Thomas. He started asking her questions.
Keisha, how did it feel walking in the loo?
How did it feel?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that people aren't walking in with a couple. I haven't even expected.
Did my girl look bothered though? No. Not in the slightest. She's done with that. She's over it. Dead in the water. Nothing more to be said.
How you guys doing? You good?
Talk about awkward silence. That was actually embarrassing. Did you see the delayed response from everyone? That was actually embarrassing. He's walking in like he's the bee's knees, the big I am. Yeah. Putting on the face, putting on the smile for everyone. But you're a frigging joker. You're a frigging joker. They've all got your number. They've all got your number. They know not to take you seriously. You wasn't in here for the right reasons. So no one's fooled by your foolishness. No one's fooled by the performance. So let it go. Just let it go.
Oh, wow. She's not standing up.
She's not.
He's not having it.
She's not even looking at him.
Isn't it lovely?
All right.
I get a hug?
Oh, I can't get up, sorry.
You can't get up, alright. Okay, you look good though.
Cheers.
Looking good and sexy.
Oh, okay. Maybe Kwame needs to read the room a little.
Well, he already got snubbed by her already, but he carried on. He wanted to, I don't know what he was trying to do. I believe that was probably him trying to save face. Yeah, the embarrassment. He's trying to save face. But again, that's him being so typical with all the chirpsing, the chatting up. Oh, baby, you look good. You look sexy. No. You weren't interested in her, so why would you even come with that? Why would you even come with that? She's done with you. She's tired of all the lyrics, all the verbal diarrhea that comes out your mouth because none of it is real. You're not interested, so shut your shit. Now that I've calmed down, who is next? Oh yeah, Jenna and Zoe. So they're still a couple. I'm actually quite surprised. They look good though. They look good together though. Yeah, wasn't keen on that green number that Jenna was wearing. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, as a couple, they seem to be working. They're making the effort, as they say. So-and-so travelling up there, she's travelling back to her. And they're finding their way. I wish them luck, but I just can't see it long term. I still can't see it long term. But moving on. We then saw Jess and PJ walking together. People were thinking, are these two a couple again? But they're not. They're not. Jess has made it very known that we're just friends. We're just friends. But they seem to be getting on very well. So they came in as a pair. Then we had Duca. He came in by himself. Looking all right. Very happy to see everyone. And then he approached, Whitney? And asked her, come on, Whitney, bring it in. Let's get a hug. Yeah, he was on that energy. But she was very receptive, which I was quite surprised by. She was very receptive. So that they seem to have settled their differences. That's looking good. I like that. We then saw Sophie walk in by herself. Why was I not surprised? With that idiot, Mr. Jonathan? No, I'm not surprised. Then we see Fool Kwame saying, let me make out I'm sad, but he's not. He's always fancied Sophie. He's always fancied Whitney. We know that. He was never into Keisha. So this idiot here, I've got no time for. Then it was Jonathan's turn to walk in. Where do I start here? First of all, Kwame, he's always the loudest one in the room. Why do we need to hear you? Why are you here? Always have to make your presence known. And then when it came to Jonathan hugging his wife, Sophie, where was the interaction? He was very dismissive of her. Like, yeah, we're done now. Yeah, I don't need to talk to you anymore. He had that attitude about him. He gave everybody else the longest hug, but when it came to her, he couldn't even look her in the eye. And then we saw later on, when they were sitting down having the discussion about this talk they supposedly had. And did you see how he was again with no filter? Talk about savage, which is what she said. Boy!
As soon as we both said how we felt, it was like a weight was lifted off. It's like there's less emotional investment here now. You've left it all.
Savage.
But what gets me most of all is her attitude. When he walked in the door, the biggest smile came on her face. When she went to hug him, the biggest smile on her face. When she's talking to him again here, the biggest smile on her face. Why are you smiling? This guy has done you the dirtiest. but you're still smiling. Oh, hell no, would that be me? We saw him at the vow renewals saying yes. Knowing that he wanted to say no, he said yes. So he was stringing you along and you got time to smile with him. I've got no time for this shit. Moving on. Who did we see next? Yeah, we saw Richie. That's who it was. Mr. Rockstar. Yeah, he walked in. Yeah, everybody greeted him and all the rest of it. Yeah. And he still hasn't got over what's her name. What was her name anyway? I've forgotten her name. Forgotten her name. Lara. That's it, Lara. He still hasn't got over what could have been. Yeah. He's got that attitude about him. He's trying to be very much like he's not bothered. Yeah, of course he's bothered. Then we saw Lara walk in. Now, she looked good. She looked good. I like that green number that she had. Yeah, she looked good. She gave Mr. Richie a hug. And Richie, when he was talking to, I think it was George on the sofa, he said something that was quite sort of like he wasn't bothered attitude. And I thought to myself, yeah, right. Of course you're bothered. Ever since you left this process, you've been bothered. And you'll come back bothered. So nothing's really changed.
Where's Jordan?
I am so shocked that Shanice has arrived so I can't believe it. I really hedged my bets on them too.
Bruv, I expected these two to be the power couple that make us throughout all of this.
Such great,
What are those tears about?
I don't know, I just felt really overwhelmed. If it's just walking in alone, isn't it?
Shock horror. I didn't see that one coming. No, I didn't see that one coming. Out of all the couples, I would have hedged my bet on those two. Even though he had a bit of a, what's the word? A bit of a wobble. Yeah, a little trepidation. I still would have hedged my bets on them. But all was not well. So I'm sure we're going to find out more. But did you see her dress though? I was loving the dress. Yes, sir. My girl looked the business. The hair, the dress, just the physique. It was just on point. Loved it. She came here not to play any games today. She's going to show him what he's been missing. And did you see, who was it complimented her? We saw Kwame, we saw George, all the men were complimenting her. Also Duka as well. Yeah, they're all saying, oh, she looks nice, doesn't she? She looks good. Yeah, she looked good. Just as Kwame would say. She looked good.
Basically, I kept saying to him, I feel like you're not interested in me, you're not making effort, you're not doing this. And he's like, no, I can't wait to see you, can't this, that and the other. And then I was right. And then he was like, oh, I don't think we're compatible, I don't want to be with you. We're quite amicable, we're all right, like, we're friends, so to speak. It's just, what he says and what he does are two different things.
I know we saw him have a wobble when they're at one of the dinner parties where he mentioned about he needs to be in love with somebody before they move in together or live together, something along those lines. And from that point, that's where the wobble began from what we saw. But at the same time, I thought they'd get over that. I really did. I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but it looks like it was. Yeah, it really looked like it was. But the thing I don't get is that he went to final vows, the vow renewals, and he said yes. Again, like I said, why did all five of them say yes? Why did all five say yes? None of it made any bloody sense. So, if he was having his doubts, if he was already having doubts, why say yes? Instead, he led her up the garden path, clinging on hope, thinking that they've got a future, only to be let down like this, in tears, at the cocktail party. No, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And with that being said, we then saw Jordan walk in. Yeah, He came in very loud and laddish. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's all a front right now. That's all a front. I'm not falling for that. I know you got insecurities behind the loudness. Yeah, you're just trying to, as I mentioned, put on a front for everyone that you're good, that everything's okay. But we've already heard it from Shanita that all was not well and how things panned out. He did, however, acknowledge Shanita when he walked in. He gave her a hug. Yeah, she felt better after that because her nerves were on edge, thinking, how am I going to cope with this? But after having that hug, she felt a sigh of relief. Yeah. We then saw a conversation take place between Jordan and Zoe. And this is how it went.
I sat down and I thought to myself, like, Jordan, realistically, can you see, like, you and Shanita forever? Like, can you see yourself falling in love? Can you see yourself having kids? I organised a FaceTime. On that call, like, it was, Shanita was pressing, well, do you want to be with me or not? Do you want to be with me or not? She asked me that question, like, a few times, bluntly, like, do you want to be with me or not? And I was in the position where I was like, no, I don't.
Well, we heard it from the horse's mouth. We heard it. But what upsets me the most is that each week, you kept coming back and saying stay. And when it comes to the final vows, you said yes. And all this time, you were having doubts. And she knew you were having doubts. She knew you were having doubts. But you kept sort of, what's the word? Dismissing her concerns, knowing full well you were having doubts. You just weren't man enough. You just were not man enough to tell her the truth. You gave her false hope. You led her up the garden path. You had her going around in circles, thinking you were her happily ever after. I really thought you were her one. I really did. But you've just disappointed me. You've disappointed me. And after not wanting her, this is what we see happen next.
Loving the hair.
She looks great, doesn't she?
Loving the eyes as well.
Is she moving to me too?
And on that note, let me slide it.
Look at Duca's chirp's face.
You know we're all here, right? We can see you. I'm just saying.
Sorry, can I just sit next to you, please?
Oh, wow.
Is that okay?
Wow. Did you see what happened? Wow. Talk about jealous. As we saw, Mr. Jordan didn't want to take the relationship any further. Then all of a sudden, when he sees Mr. Duca trying to chirp my girl, all of a sudden, he's interested. All of a sudden, he wants to block that. So he goes over and asks, can he sit down? Bloody nerve. He's got a bloody nerve. I actually liked Mr. Duca chirps in my girl Shanita. I thought, yeah, go on flirt with her. Go on, you do that. For as she said, she's young, free and single, ready to mingle. Looking at the two of them together, to be honest, they vibed. They look good together. But if I do recall, I do remember, was it the girls' night or the girls' day out? Something like that. Yeah, the girls' day out, where Shanita turned around and said he was the least attractive person she'd go for, was Duca. And that he was fake or something like that. That's awkward. But to be honest, they do look good together. As the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Shoot your shot, Duca. Shoot your shot. It was not long after that we saw Matt walk through the door. What was he wearing? He looked like a Boy Scout. What was he wearing? The shorts. What was this? Oh, come on, mate. You couldn't come better dressed than that? Put a long pair of pants on? Oh, my goodness me. But anyway, he didn't get the greatest reception, did he? It was like an awkward silence. The only one that seemed to make any effort was, what's his name? Jonathan. Everybody else was like, awkward. Oh, I don't really want to see him today. Yeah, we saw whose faces? We saw Gemma, we saw Zoe, we even saw Whitney's face, like to say, oh God, how am I gonna deal with this? Yeah. Everybody had a face on. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, we did see 1 or 2 people get up and hug him. And also Whitney did actually get a hug from him and she hugged him back, etc, etc. Yeah, so that sort of broke that awkwardness that they may have had. And then we saw Matt have a conversation with Duca. That's right. About the situation with him stealing Whitney. Yeah, remember?
My biggest gripe, bro, was for the fact that, bro, like, I would have respected it so much more had you just literally just come up to me first.
It's shit, but it hurt other people. That was never the intent, yeah? From my perspective, it happened so fast with me and Whit. But then I have to go back on the fact that, do you know what, I did 100% fall in love with this girl.
I'm not too sure what to say here. Did he apologise? Did he not? I can't even answer that question. I really don't know. But anyway, moving on. The next thing we saw was them entering the dinner party. But with that, this is where I'm going to leave it for now. And I'm going to come back with part 2, more likely tomorrow to be honest, and continue where I left off. So if you like what you heard so far, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.